How's it going, boys? So, recently, we watched a video by Pleasant Kenobi, and it was about Magic the Gathering, cheating, and other conspiracy theories and allegations and whatnot. And I had an absolute great time. It was a very fun video. And now, now multiple people have been emailing me that this video has dropped, and it's supposed to be an absolute banger, okay? And I have instantaneously two questions to ask. Okay. First of all, is Pleasant Kenobi crashing out? Because in the past 3 weeks, so many creators have absolutely crashed out. It's absolute insanity. And second of all, easily judging from the title of this video and the first 3 seconds, he is obviously not on the side that anything illegal, illicit, or any kind of rigging or skewing of anything is happening in the arena. So, my second question is, how much proof needs to be provided to actually prove in this case that the arena is rigged in some way? Like, what are we talking about? Statistics? Video evidence? Or what exactly? Yeah, does a developer need to come out and say that this is proof? That it's been proven that there are multiple things wrong with this game? I know a lot about this, and I have my own statistics that I have been doing for a long time. I talk about them often when I feel like it. You probably are actually annoyed that I talk about them that often, in fact. Well, anyway, let's get into it.
What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life that you've played Arena, that there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. That was a paraphrased quote from Gandalf in the hit film Dark City. In this video, I'm going to talk about every single way that Magic the Gathering Arena cheats you. That's right, how it transpires against you to make your games worse. Oh boy, it's time to blow the lid.
Yeah, again, if this video is actually not one-sided, that he doesn't think that there's no cheating going on, I will be surprised, because this intro makes me believe that it's 100% one-sided on this. He's one-sided on this take.
Right off. I'm doing this because this video here had a load of comments telling me that either A, Arena was completely fixed and I'm an idiot for thinking otherwise, or B, I'm a shill. For instance, Bruno said, I don't know about MTG Online, and so I will not comment about it, but we all know that Arena is rigged, etc., etc. Oh, and I'm lying to myself. I shouldn't etc. that. I'm lying to myself. And for the record, Bruno's comment was actually pretty chill. I'm just doing a whole bit with it because it's fun.
So yeah, one of the things that instantaneously should make sparks fly in your mind is the fact that MTG Online has existed forever, and people are not really en masse saying it's rigged. Well, I'm just not saying that. That's not a popular opinion. But when it comes to Arena, that's an extremely popular opinion. Also, one thing that you should note, which Pleasant Kenobi said in the last video, that also is ironically actually substantiating the fact that Arena is rigged, is the fact that the people who are in the top positions in Paper Magic, whatever that is, MTG Online, are the same. They overlap. But in Arena, it's completely different people. Well, not completely different, but they're not. The top players are not the same. In real life and online, there is overlap by his own words, but in Arena, not happening.
More like this, if you don't actually agree with me, you can even say I'm lying to myself without me being really that offended, because it felt like a colloquialism from Bruno. Bruno was pretty chill. Some of these comments, not so much. I explained that I was aware of the algorithm for opening hands in best of one. I'll explain that more in a moment. And Bruno replied. Bruno really replied. They really replied.
Jesus.
Yeah, I sound a bit sick. I've just got over the flu. If you want to buy magic cards, you can buy them from these places. CoolStuffInc.com has got you covered in North America. Use the code Kenobi. Check out to get 5% off your order. And in the old world,
okay, that was good.
The place that I joke about still having democracy, and it makes at least 5 Americans shit themselves in the comment section. They just defecate everywhere. President Trump's a cunt. There you go. Does that make your shit harder? Kenobi-APR at the moment for the April code to get 5% off your order, not for pre-sale, or pre-order should I say, and sale items. So how does Arena cheat you? Well, in Best of 1, it draws you 2 hands, and it looks to compare them to the percentage or ratio of lands to non-lands in your deck, and give you the hand that is closest to that number. This is colloquially called by the community.
Okay, this is the official theory, but I don't believe this. Let's hear what he fully has to say about this, and then I will explain why I don't believe this.
Community hand smoothing, and it was confirmed by developers on live streams.
True.
I remember seeing it. Covert Go Blue also remembers seeing it and responded as such when I was asking for proof of some of the issues around Arena on Twitter recently. He remembers it too. Weirdly, no matter how much I ask around, ask the internet to support me with sleuthing and look myself, I can't find the clip. I actually generally think the clip may not be archived anywhere. This is the problem with digital media, right? Like,
oh, I actually remember. I know what he's talking about. Yeah, I waved it off because I didn't care.
websites go down, Twitch deletes VOD stuff that it doesn't need, and Wizards are pretty bad at maintaining their old archives.
I'll let him finish his full point or whatever, and then I'm gonna talk about this because I don't believe this. Hand smoothing is definitely a thing. It's still happening, but there's a little bit more at the first hand than just smoothing.
Too. But the developer
If you have played Arena for years, you probably will be able to know what I'm talking about.
development team explained that this exists to create less non-games in Best of 1. And what I will say to that with commentary is that I don't really care if they do that in Best of 1. We do firstly need to clarify that hand smoothing isn't really cheating you out of anything. It's not rigging the
Well, it fucking is. Okay, listen. When I get a hand, listen. First of all, I'm just gonna start here because that sentence actually kind of slightly pissed me off. So first of all, if hand smoothing exists, Wizards is doing a horrible job at it. Okay, because why the hell am I drawing ever hands that have one land? You're telling me I drew 2 hands in a row and both of them had one fucking land? Okay? That is the first thing that I don't like this. So this is obvious bullshit. Okay? If hand smoothing exists, then it's doing a horrible job if it's only looking at lands. And again, it's not only looking at lands.
game against you like some people want to claim it is. It's not this symbol or sign of a grand conspiracy, because the aim by the developers of Arena is to give you a smoother, cleaner experience and to improve the gameplay experience.
Well, then they're doing a fucking horrible job at that shit. That much I can tell you for a fact. 2, this is pointing, obviously, in the direction of a greater conspiracy. Okay? If a person steals one thing, that person is way more likely to steal other things than the person who doesn't steal anything. If the developers of a game are rigging one thing, they are way more likely to rig another thing because they see that they understand that there are problems, and lands are a problematic way of being they're problematic resource in general. So the fact that you're gonna tell me that they're just doing this one thing only and that's it, yeah, that sounds like bullshit. Second of all, it's confirmed bullshit because people found the values for commander cards, that every card has a weight and every deck has a weight class. Yeah, people found that. So there's one official way that they admitted they're rigging the game, and surprise, surprise, there's more ways that they're rigging games. And there's, by the way, even more ways that they're rigging games that we're gonna talk.
This is not making you draw worse hands and losing you games. If anything, it should be giving you a better chance at a better hand. Best of 1 for both limited.
Again, tell that to my one land opener. Tell that to my one land openers. This should never happen. If this system exists and it's only there to make games better, it shouldn't happen.
And constructed is not a real format to me. And I'll qualify that a little bit because some people got upset with me on social media last week or this week. I don't know. Time is a construct and I've been really fucking.
Yeah, that sounds like a blatant, easy excuse to just dismiss criticism, I guess. Oh, this thing I don't care about? Oh, who cares? Yeah, that's not a great take. People obviously are gonna be pretty upset about that.
Fucking sick. But people didn't like me saying it's not a real format. What I mean by not a real format,
It is. In fact, it's the most popular format in Magic 100%. Best of one, standard, and then it's historic. Best of one is by far the most popular way of playing this game. Fucking period. There's no debate about this. Yes, Commander has a scene. Yes, Pauper, whatever the hell that is, has a scene. But still, there's a reason these formats are not being added.
is that it's an imitation of another format that is vastly superior. Best of one removes some of the randomization that comes with drawing an opening hand and seeing your deck construction come to.
By the way, I have played Best of 3. I think Best of 3 is rigged because they are because in Best of 3 it is pretty obvious that they are trying to make it that there are always 3 games. When I first played Best of 3, I was like, holy shit, this actually is good. Wow. The RNG that I'm experiencing in classical Best of 1 is not happening here. And then I very quickly figured it out that Arena doesn't actually doesn't force you to win one game or lose one game, but it wants to push you in the direction of 3 games. Again, this is very basic stuff. Every game, EA has a pattern for it, League of Legends has a pattern for it, Blizzard, I think, even has a pattern for it now, or at least they did with Heroes of the Heroes of the Storm. And these are patterns that make it as close as possible for a 50% win ratio for everyone. Because winning too much, turns out, actually makes people quit the game because it's boring. And same thing with losing too much. It makes people quit the game because then you're not winning ever and it's pissing you off. So the ideal is as close to a 50% win rate pushing everyone as you honestly can. Because that means more people are going to play. They are going to play longer. And the longer people play, the longer, the bigger incentive for them usually it is to spend some kind of money or do something like that. So that is a very, very, very clear incentive structure by its own lonesome that we know other companies have, that we know almost all companies in the world have, aka making fucking money. So yeah. When you have something like this, a very blatant, obvious goal that the company has, you probably think they're doing something to get there.
To fruition with a good keepable hand, or you realizing that you fucked your mana base. On top of that, it removes sideboarding, which skews things like construction, especially as to where glass cannon decks can be much better because they can't have the sideboard cards to stop them. Or you have to put like main deck answers in your 60.
True, but this is also a fact that again there is no way anyone's gonna tell me that there is not any matchmaking fixing in terms of what you play against something, okay? Listen. You can fucking go into my video library right now and find a year ago. Also, he's not talking about the hand smoothing anymore, so I'm gonna jump back to that after this. So, Wizards does a lot of shit to try and make people win and lose games. The most obvious one is land screwing or flooding. Very easy, very common. It happens in real life and whatnot. But it's obvious in Arena considering what type of decks you play. Okay, but in this case, the matchup rigging also exists. I literally have multiple videos. Not one, not two, but I think I have like fucking 5 or something like that. Where I am playing self-mill or enemy mill decks, self-mill reanimators to be exact, that do a really good job milling the opponent, and that is a side win condition that I can go for. And these decks constantly queue in a row into people with 200 cards in their decks. Yeah, that happens. And a lot of people, and this has happened to a lot of people also. You're playing a mill deck in historic, by the way. Historic, I'll be very specific. Historic, by the way. I don't see this happening as much in standard. I almost never see it happening in standard, by the way. But in historic, this is notorious. Historic best of one, notorious shit. And, well, this happens constantly again. You can literally queue 3 times in a row into a guy with 200 cards when you're playing mill, or self-mill that mills your opponent as a win condition also. When you're playing historic, it's pretty wild. Again, I have multiple videos where I queue in them 2 times in a row, sometimes even 3 times in a row, and where 50% of my opponents are somehow 200 card. Well, not always 200. Sometimes they're 150, sometimes they're 90 card decks, but you get the point. You get the point. And this is just done, so there's a higher chance that I lose. Obviously, nothing else. Or suddenly Gaia's Blessing is the thing. This happens with decks that use enchantments, by the way. Not 9 lives, by the way, because that is a specific different situation, because that requires to bypass Hexproof, which is different. But if you, for example, play an enchantment deck in Historic, or you have some kind of super big, multiple super big enchantment cards that you want to play, there's literally people who are fucking playing Neutralize. You run into people who are main decking in Best of 1 Historic Neutralize. Which is insane. That's the 2-cost card that destroys enchantments and instant speed, right? That one. Yeah. Shit like that happens a lot. And there are so many things. When you're playing self-mill and there comes that one guy who plays Rest and Piss. Because you never see these cards being played unless you're playing a specific deck. No one plays these cards in Historic unless Tormod's Crypt, goddammit. You only see them when you're playing self-mill. No one else ever plays it. You play Elves, no one plays that card in 50 games. Suddenly you're playing self-mill, and you need cards in your graveyard. You're fucked. And this happens so often. And the other sand smoothing thing is, by the way, in general, okay? In general, I'm gonna lay it down. I'm gonna lay the fucking law down here, okay, boys? The hand smoothing thing. How many of you have been playing Arena for, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years? And you remember from 2, 3 years ago? Maybe 3.5 years ago, even. There was this one period where you constantly would get 2 copies of a card in your opening hand. And sometimes 2 and 2 again. Almost never 3. But 2 cards of a single copy was super common. And nowadays, it just doesn't happen. Nowadays, it literally just doesn't happen. But 2 to 3.5 years ago, there was a time period that lasted like for a couple of months, I think. But it was super common to just constantly get an opening hand of 2 to 3 to 4 lands. And you had like 2 of this card and 2 of that card. A 2+2 situation. That's where the Poker God meme came into existence on this channel, because it was just happening constantly. So, and I think there was something that this was even confirmed by Wizards to be a bug, or maybe I'm making that one up, because I remember someone trying to tell me about that. Okay. I'll stop. I'll let Pleasant speak, because we haven't even gotten to the statistics part, which I fucking should have not deleted. It was a paint. No, it wasn't a paint. It was a Word document where I marked games where certain things happened when I was playing a certain deck, and those statistics were fucking damning.
To try and like beat those glass cannon sort of effects. I am not saying that not having a sideboard makes other formats like invalid. I think Commander, CEDH, and Canadian Highlander are all valid competitive formats too. I just think that when it comes to 60 card constructed, whether that be Historic, Modern, Pioneer, Explorer, Standard, Legacy, whatever, I think that a 75 card format with sideboards and other hand smoothing algorithm shit is a truer way to play Magic, because it allows you to play a much more nuanced strategic game. And thus, I
True or okay, whatever. I think having a sideboard is good, but I don't know how to fit that in Best of 1.
I think Best of 1 is shit. There you go. I said it. I sometimes still use it for a quick fix because it's still Magic. I don't begrudge you doing it. I think it still works for more casual formats. I'm going to say Brawl is a casual format, but Brawl is basically dual commander now. That's a whole video.
Okay, leave in the comments if he's getting a lot of heat for this, because yeah, he's clearly denouncing the absolute most popular format in Magic.
in itself. The poor new players casually coming in to play some Commander and they get absolutely fucking dominated in the brawl queues. It's very funny. But that's what I mean about the not a real format, or less of a concern for me. They can fuck around with it all they want. They've shown a lack of respect to Magic in many ways on Arena already by forcing Alchemy into some of the other formats that are on there. So either way, I don't think that having a hand smoothing in the—
Don't worry, I'm not gonna go on my 75th tangent on how Alchemy was an absolute disaster, even though it could have actually made Magic a good game.
As much of an issue. It's not a grand conspiracy. It's a thing they've admitted to in the past, and we're all aware of it.
Okay. Okay.
You're still here? Oh,
no.
Shit. Sorry. You wanted more. No, sorry, that's it. That's all we got, kids. There are so many fuckheads in the comments of my previous video. I've also seen like other YouTubers react to my video. One of which said something along the lines of, why does Wizards of the Coast keep putting all my win conditions in the bottom 5 cards of my deck? I can only say politely that
that is me! And that, I didn't say that they're doing that constantly. I said that that happened with a specific deck, and that is a Reanimator. That actually happens relatively often for Reanimators, that your 4-card win condition is at the bottom of your deck, and you need to mill all of that bad boy first to get it. And again, that's fucking on video. So, I mean, there you fucking go.
That person is a fucking idiot. There is a really grand conspiracy amongst certain Arena users that the client is out to get you, and that there's a conspiratorial thought that it's trying to make your draws worse. And I just don't fucking understand.
Yeah, I also don't understand how these 90-card decks have perfect land draws. Neither do I. And how they never run out of cards while you're stuck on 2 lands. Shit.
And why people think this. Well,
Okay. Let me tell you why people think this, okay? Because we talk about this a lot. Roughly 2 to 3 years ago, Heliod, when you were playing Historic Mono White Life Gain, was literally 95% times in your opening hand or on turn 3 always. Okay? Listen. Literally. Because, again, that was when I was streaming and I had a fucking Word document there and I was marking it down. Oh, playing against the Heliod Life Gain? Is this going to be a turn 3 Heliod drop? Yes. And we had 40 games? 40 fucking mod games? And it turned out to be like a 95-ish, or it's above 90. It's above 90% that happened. Are you gonna tell me that's normal? I fucking dare you go now into Historic, make a Heliod Life Gain deck, and tell me that you are getting Heliod in the opening hand more than 1 out of 7 games now. From almost a 100% probability of happening, when I was playing it, when my opponent was playing it, from almost a 100% probability of happening to almost 0. What are some other great examples? Core Spirit Dancer Enchantment decks. Again, all of this is, by the way, historic. Core Spirit Dancer Enchantment decks. Also, something around 30 games. I don't remember how many games for each of these things were, but the lowest sample size was 20, and the highest sample size was like fucking 50 or something like that. Core Spirit Dancer decks. Again, something like a 90% chance of dropping a Core Spirit Dancer on turn 2 always. And the times that they didn't drop it on turn 2, they pretty much always dropped it on turn 3. Which I don't even know if they just didn't drop it because they wanted protection for it or whatever. Which was pretty goddamn fun. Okay? Again, pretty fucking wild statistics here. Cycling's Flare Burst, or what the fuck is it called? The cycling thing with the 4 mana insta cost that heals and damages based on how many cycling cards you have in the graveyard. You could either start with 1 flare or 2 flares in your opening hand. And statistically speaking, you had something like a 70% chance of drawing your flare exactly on the 20th to 24th card. 70% chance of drawing it always exactly there. And that, by the way, was also I didn't actually keep it in there for a lot, but in general, it seems like Wizards kind of likes putting a lot of big draws at the 20 to 24th card range for some reason, because there were a lot of situations like that. I don't know. How about all the videos that I didn't even make, other people made, about red aggro playing 13 fucking lands and always having 2 lands in the opening hand? Or having enough lands. How about you playing normal aggro and pretty much always for fucking years, having almost 4 lands on turn 4 to drop? That's a thing that has been happening for forever almost at this point. Okay? And then you play a non-aggro deck, and for some reason you're not getting that. 2 years ago, Elves. If you were playing Elves and you have more than two lands on turn 3 or 4, holy fucking Lord, that was the holy grail. Jesus, it didn't matter how many lands you put in there. Okay? Average mana cost 5, 4, 6 stacks. Don't work. But for some reason, Ugin and Ulamog decks just constantly work in Arena. Oh, but they have mana rocks. Yeah. They have 8 2-cost mana rocks total. What a great number. 10 out of 10. There are so many examples of this shit. There are so many examples of this shit constantly happening. Fuck. Like, if you don't play it and you don't see it, don't say that it's not happening.
I do understand why people think this. It's a cope, right? People are bad. They're on losing streaks. They don't know or don't want to improve. They don't want to self-reflect on their own deck choices.
True. When you're losing, you're gonna cope and whatnot.
Construction, hand keeps, sequencing in games, metagame choices.
Why would I? What? I'm sorry, didn't we agree that hand smoothing exists? Why would hand keeping be a problem in that case?
For my that they're playing or whatever, but instead want to blame an external source. I've done a whole video on this copium already. That's the one that I got these comments on, but I'll link it in this video's description as well. But like the biggest simple debunk for this is the argument that if Arena has these shuffler issues, these shuffler truthers that believe the shuffler is fucking them over, like why isn't it even? Because it'll be fucking everyone over, right? Well, the counterpoint, or the straw man, some might argue in the comment section, and that's fine, that I'm gonna...
Well, first of all, it kind of can't really... Wait. Is this gonna be a retarded... If everyone is above average, average player argument, there's no fucking way, is it?
To put forward is that people are claiming that if you spend more money, they're going to allow you to...
Oh, that's different. Yeah, I spend money on Arena. I have never noticed this. I never have noticed getting a win streak when I spend 100 buckaroonies on this shit, okay? I was thought... Bro, for a moment I was thinking that he's actually gonna go, well, if everyone's above average, then... everyone's above average skill, then how can everyone have 60% win rate? Well, some people always are gonna win, and the reality is a lot of people are not trying that hard then. Okay? If you actually diligently play constantly, people, even if an arena is trying to fucking throw them a bone, are gonna fuck up. It's inevitable. They're gonna make a bad decision. And if people are constantly locked in and trying their best, for example, I don't fucking give a shit. I don't see Magic as a competitive game. I look at everyone who does see Magic as a competitive game brain fucking damaged and dented. Because statistically speaking, Magic is the most uncompetitive, one of the most uncompetitive games ever designed, because the concept of lands is just simply too much of an RNG factor for skill to matter in the general senses. And yeah, sure, there are gonna be people who are actually really good at Arena who are like fucking genius tier and can manage the RNG better than others. True. That is gonna happen sometimes. But in general, if you try really, really hard and are constantly locked in, you're playing the strongest meta decks, you're gonna win an arena more than others. You only need a 51% win rate, by the way, in Arena to get rank 1 Mythic, if you did not know. Because Mythic is not based on the percent win rate. Mythic is based on hidden MMR. So, you only need a 51% win rate to actually be the best player in Arena by ranking. That's also a fun fact.
To have certain privileges. Now, the thing is, I can see like giving privileges to the people who are spending money as a way of keeping them enjoying the client. I get that. Keep your whales happy. But remember, it's always the scrubs who are losing.
Bruh, what do you mean? You're literally capitulating on these points that you can't capitulate. Oh, Arena's not rigging you like this. Oh, Arena's not rigging you like that. But wait a minute, Arena maybe is rigging you like that. I could see you're destroying your own fucking argument. You're literally you can't say Arena is not rigging you, then implement a fucking reason for it to rig things. And by the way, this is one of the weakest arguments for rigging. And oh, spend money, get better. Oh. What is the point of this?
Games that are the ones complaining that Arena or the Shuffler or some part of Arena is screwing them over. It's never people witnessing and seeing that it's improving their games or giving them benefits. It's always screwing.
I actually talk about this. I literally talk about this a lot. That I win games where my opponent can't even make a fucking move. And we laugh about it because it's funny.
Them over. It's always a why me? Why is Wizards of the Coast singling me out? But in this hypothetical scenario where the people spending less money, the free-to-play player.
Well, that's by the way, that's a completely normal stance to have. By the way, why me? I don't know why he, bro. Okay, I'm playing a 1v1 arena match and I lose. Should I be fucking? Should I get mad because Africa has problems because of that, or should I care about myself at that point? I mean, this is obvious. Everyone's gonna make it about themselves. This is completely expected. This is normal human behavior. If you're not thinking about yourself at this point, fucking questions about the validity, what's going on there.
For example, are getting screwed over on their draws. I do have to ask the question, how does that really help them in the long run? Surely keeping the free-to-play players around keeps the client active, and thus the people who are paying the money in can matchmake into games. And also...
What do you fucking mean? Like, again, there are literally patterns that you can go and look up. FIFA, the football fucking game, literally has matchmaking algorithms that make better players perform forcefully by making the actions they take weaker and lowering their stats, while making other people who are worse players better and stronger stats wise, because they want those bad players to win. They want everyone to fucking win. They don't want you to lose. They're not Bro, if he's talking about me and he doesn't understand my position, I'm pretty fucking pissed because, man, holy fuck. You're so bad at this if you don't even understand this. I'm not complaining that I'm losing in Arena. I'm complaining that it's rigged and even my wins are fucking rigged. Like, I find no enjoyment in the game where my opponent literally does nothing for 5 turns. I find no enjoyment in Arena when I absolutely do nothing for 5 turns. I fail to see the skill in a game where I can be stuck on 2 lands and my opponent just has turns while I am AFK because I don't have a 3rd land. And half my deck is actually 2 cost, but I magically don't draw any of that shit. Okay?
The new player experience being absolute dog shit because of some sort of shuffler issue is not going to convert those new players into long-standing players, regular bodies to be matched against.
And now this is why we have new player queue. People get put against appropriate players. This is also, by the way, something I talk about in my videos. I make a deck and I'm looking at this and I'm playing against really, really fucking bad decks suddenly. And why? Because Wizards thinks I made a fucking really bad deck. And then you get into put in a queue against not fucking meta decks. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. Again, when we were trying to reach Mythic, and we got to like Mythic rank 200. By the way, yes, even I have been Mythic, which would tell you how little skill exists in this shithole game. We were streaming for 5 hours, I think. And we were effectively playing in those 5 hours against like 5 fucking people. I was playing Khalid Sugan / Ulamog, and we were playing against goblins and elves and one more guy time to time. And it was literally the same players over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Or, heaven forbid, even a new whale to be milked, whether they stop being a free-to-play and start buying packs every set. Of course, if they advertised that they were improving the shuffling and the draws you got if you spent money, that would be a fucking shitstorm of controversy. But the reality is that doing it that way and not advertising it doesn't achieve the goal that you think it does. It would just in theory upset a lot of people who would no longer play anymore. It would damage the player experience.
No, that's not even fucking true, dude. What do you that wouldn't upset. Whales want to bail out and be better than other people. And in the context of a card game, that literally means making them win because that's the only way that they get to be better than other people. There is a very tangible benefit to this. Even again, I personally don't think that this is happening because I haven't seen my win rate go up because I buy a bunch of packs.
And damage the retention for the game. Now we need to address the elephant in the room, which is the one that people have already commented on, so I waited at least till halfway through the video to mention it. It's the algorithmic or matchmaking systems that are part of Arena. People are going to talk about this being a fix, or being something that is a rigged system. I've seen that in section 2. The first part of that was revealed last year, is that certain cards had certain weighted point systems in Brawl to allow them to match.
Listen, I'm not calling you a fucking retard if you couldn't figure this out if you played Commander, but you fucking are. If you needed Wizards to accidentally F this up and get this leaked, and only then you believe that this is happening, at least in goddamn Commander, I don't know what to tell you about. Don't you find it suspicious? Don't you fucking find it suspicious? Well, actually, he probably does find it suspicious. Don't you find it suspicious when you're playing a Commander format, and you're playing what's the human whatever Esika? You're playing Esika 5-color bridge with Planeswalkers or something. Don't you find it suspicious that you're queuing into other literal super mega overpowered S tier combo decks? Well, not even combo decks, but just other extremely overpowered decks like Golos and whatnot. And when you don't play these decks, when you don't use these big cards, when you don't use Sharknado and literally everything you make when you play blue, you play against other decks, not only the top tier Golos, Essikas, and whatnot decks. And then you get like 2 or 3 wins, and guess what? Guess who's fucking dead? That's right, it's a fucking Essika deck that drops Essika exactly on fucking curve, or a Golos deck, or something like that, and you lose. And then you get to play against other good decks of your caliber. Did you really? And again, how does this help his point? Saying Arena's not rigged, but here's this one thing the developers said is happening, but don't worry, nothing. Oh no, here's one more thing that's rigged. I mean, we already have 2 things that are rigged. At this point, there's a dot and there's another dot, and they fucking make a line, and that line is pointing in a direction. And it's not pointing in the direction, oh, nothing else is rigged.
matchmaking people who are like slamming Paradox Engine combo before it was banned or whatever. Is it banned? I forget if it's even in Brawl. I forget where things are banned anymore. There's so much magic going on. Fuck, you know, it's still legal in Brawl.
It's there.
Okay,
yes.
whatever. But people running like Paradox Engine like combo decks
Wait,
or really...
does he even play Arena? Does he even actually play Arena? Does he? Is he just talking about something that's not rigged, but he doesn't even fucking play it? Or he plays like one game a month and there you go? That's actually a question I should have asked sooner.
Egregious certain commanders, they would have their points hiked significantly and thus be played against other players with the same level of points. Basically like SALT scores or competitive viability scores based upon the cards in their decks. This was demonstrated via some backwards engineering. It's the other confirmed fuckery of Arena, if you will. But ultimately, it's not really fuckery, is it? Because you might not agree with the score.
It's rigged, but it's not. Bro, you're losing the plot so fucking hard here. This is insane. This is like copium level 3 fucking billion. No wonder people emailed me about this video.
They give to stuff, and it might be a very ham-fisted or awkward way of doing it, but it's not exactly like fucking you over, is it? Now, there are some theories that the scoring might have gone into matchmaking in other game modes, which becomes a problem because the cards are of varying power levels depending on what formats you're playing, sure, but as far as I understand it, and from what I could see, looking into it today, there's no proof of that. That was just a theory by some people. So yes, matchmaking in Brawl attempts to match people playing the same like competitive game changers or staples as other players.
No, he already kind of failed here, because if you actually looked at the Brawl rigging list, people found that there are cards that no one fucking uses in Brawl. No one. That they're literally dead weight in Brawl. But those cards are actually really good. And you know where? Historic best of one, yeah. They're combo enablers. Yeah. So that is a whole monkey wrench in this context. Because they are combo enablers. Because if you're playing that card in Historic, you're playing a combo. Completely worthless cards in Commander. But if you're playing Historic Best of One, those are huge combo enabler cards.
It's not an ideal scenario, but I get it. And that's how Hell Queue exists. Certain commanders will push you to have a much higher score, unless you're always playing to the most obnoxious shit. Beyond that, there's in the theories, the stuff that we don't have quantifiable with any actual evidence or any information from the development team, that certain people are matched against each other in certain ways. And one of the ones I came across on Reddit was that people were upset that a higher level ranked player, this also happened in my comments as well, can't be ranked or can't be matched against a lower ranked player. The argument is that
they can.
Those players,
it's all hidden in MMR. They can. You can literally enter a Mythic and already be in the top 1,000. I have done that because you have enough MMR. You can literally not even be Mythic, by the way. And if you have a if you have a pretty fucking big win streak, well, yeah, if you have a pretty big win streak, you can there were situations where people who are not even Diamond, but below, got matched against people from Mythic ranking. I haven't seen that in literally forever. But then again, I have not been Diamond in forever also, so there it is.
Could come into contact with each other at FNM or an RCQ or a GP or whatever. So why can't they come into contact with each other on the ladder, on the ranked ladder? People with different MMR or different rankings. The reason for that is for game balance, you fucking moron. Every fucking game or an RCQ or ranked or can't be matched. That people were upset that a higher level ranked player, this also happened in my comments as well, can't be ranked or can't be matched against a lower ranked player. The argument is that those players could come into contact with each other at FNM or an RCQ or a GP or whatever. So why can't they come into contact with each other on the ladder, on the ranked ladder? People with different MMR or different rankings. The reason for that is for game balance, you fucking moron. Every fucking...
Oh, I get it. Now this still falls into the B Diamond play against Mythic. Well, okay. I think they Again, I have not even tried to go Mythic in literally a year or fucking more now. But I haven't heard, I haven't seen people queuing into Diamond and against Mythic. I think they just removed that because did they even officially admit that there is hidden MMR? I'm not sure because a lot of people don't understand that there is hidden MMR in the game to begin with. So that's kind of a question.
Game Online uses some sort of ELO, MMR, or ranking system to stop Diamond players pub stomping Wood tier players. It's only when the servers are light that you see bigger discrepancies in this, or if your matchmaking system is shit. I cannot fucking believe this is an argument people are making online after fucking what? 2 to 3 decades at this point of online matchmaking in some description. We're not just joining servers with slurs in the name anymore and under a tournament, are we? We're not just going into lobbies on Magic the Gathering Online or Spell Table that says no counter magic, no hand attack, no fast magic.
Is this actually supposed to be a point for anything? I mean, if this is so useless, it doesn't even deserve to be a fucking straw man at this point. Also, this is a great thumbnail. I will wait a minute. I'm making a screenshot of this. Save. There we go. And my porn folder. MTG Kenobi. There we go. 10 out of 10. Man, these videos are so entertaining. I love them.
Man, I know Eldrazi. Matchmaking makes sense. It's not a grand fucking conspiracy that I don't want the most established players who consistently get platinum or diamond and above to be smashing the average fucking silver tier or bronze tier players who've just.
Also, this argument doesn't hold water in Arena because when the fucking reset happens, guess what? All the people. Do Mythic players get, like, I don't know, put into Diamond? No, they don't. They still get put into Gold, right? So, when the reset happens, everyone actually does get put in the hodgepodge of BS-ery.
Started playing Arena. That makes sense. What the fuck are you talking about? Look.
Okay, I don't think anyone made this argument, and if someone made it, it was probably one idiot, and no one literally cares. That's great.
A lot of you are shit at the game, and that is absolutely fine. It's okay to not be very.
What do you mean a lot? Is that more than 50%?
Very, very good at Magic. It's all right. You don't have to find a fucking excuse that the client is giving you too many lands. It's not a fucking thing you need to do. So please.
But what? Then what happens with me queuing 3 games in a row and getting a 66% land draw ratio? Huh? What happens with that? what happens with that? Am I supposed to just say, well, shit, skill dip? What am I supposed to do? Am I not supposed to feel even a little bit fucking salty about that?
Please, for the love of God, shut the fuck up. Or, alternatively, comment down below with your latest conspiracy theory, because it helps the engagement of this video. Wow, gaslighting for Watsy. How much do you get for being the latest person to perpetuate the common lie? Filth channel. I get loads of fucking.
Bro, listen, okay, Watsy, if you're listening to me, I am for sale. I have said this. If you think this guy can shill, bro, you haven't seen anything yet, okay? I'm literally the god of shilling. I will sell my soul for a slice of good cheese. Not even good cheese, you know? It is what it is. Damn. Okay, listen. I'll take half less and do a better job. Bro, what a video.
Money. Watsy are literally firing like money, loose change, into my anus right now via a pipe across the Atlantic Ocean. I'm filling up. I'm swelling to the brim with loose change. Also, the earth is flat and Hillary Clinton likes to drink the blood of babies. I'm in Vince Snow's
who?
Now via a pipe across the Atlantic Ocean. I'm filling up. I'm swelling to the brim with loose change. Also, the earth is flat and Hillary Clinton likes to drink the blood.
Hello, what? Oh, and okay. Yeah, that does make sense.
Babies. I've been Vince, it's not Pleasant Kenobi on the internet. I'm back from being sick. There'll be more videos on the channel. I hope you enjoyed this one.
Yeah, this was definitely Crash out there, okay? This was definitely Crash out there. He couldn't. He could not. He did not like the comments. Can't blame him. I also don't like the comments a lot. But yeah, this was great. This was great. I'm waiting for the second part. This was a goddamn banger, boys. What a banger. Oh boy. Anyway, yeah, that was Pleasant Kenobi. 10 out of 10. Have a nice day. Bye.